Hello, everybody. My name is Jeremy Mock, and welcome to our discussion today about the 4P's of marketing, the building blocks of marketing, what really kind of drive modern marketing and how we operate as marketers in this world. So as we get into this, I do want to introduce one other thing. This is a Kanban. I've heard people call it Kanban before. I always say Kanban. Comes out of the Toyota production system. This is what I incorporate into all my classes. It's a way to make sure that we cover everything and kind of add some outline to what we do. So what we're going to do today is first talk about the marketing mix. Formulas. Is there a formula to the marketing mix? Hint, hint, there probably is. Talk about an intro to the 4Ps. What are the 4Ps? We'll go into each of those a little bit, each of those Ps pretty in depth. And we'll talk about how they apply in real life. Normally, as we would go through, we would talk, mark things off in work in progress, mark them off as completed as we do. But for today, we're probably going to get through all these. So let's jump right into it. Formulas, they're everywhere. We grew up with formulas as a way to kind of look at our world. Sometimes formulas are called frameworks, equations, whatever it may be. We're really used to them in math. So Newton's second law here, something you may have seen if you ever took a physics class, force equals mass times acceleration, basically means getting hit by a bus probably hurts a little bit more than getting hit with a pillow. So bigger and it's moving faster, right? So first, before I jump on, this really, I put this here, it's supposed to be Newton, but for anyone that knows Queen, the band Queen, this reminds me of Brian May every time I see him. So if you don't know who that is, just take a second, go and look that up. We have this guy right here too, kind of famous equation, E equals MC squared. Don't know what it means, but it's pretty famous and I think it means a lot. So I'm not a physicist, I'm a business guy. So, but what I do want to show is this one. So this is the Pythagorean theorem. You may have seen this in high school, a squared equals r plus b squared equals c squared. I put this here just because I actually got to use it. Marketer is building a trade show a few years back, making a banner to go across two sides. Found out exactly how big a banner I needed. It worked out perfectly. It was a highlight of my week, being able to use an equation from high school. But they're not just math equations. We see formulas all over in our business world too. For those that know above us, profit equals revenue minus expenses or costs. This is the income statement, right? Profit equals the money I make in minus the expenses I have to pay out. What's left over is my profit. We see this one over here. This is the balance sheet. So if you've taken an accounting class or an intro to business class, you've seen both of these. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. That's an equation, that's a formula that we use to talk about accounting and numbers inside a business. But what about marketing? Is there a formula for marketing? I'm going to argue that there is, and it's just 4P. Now, what does 4P mean? Well, it stands for product, price, place, and promotion. 1, 2, 3, 4, product, price, place, promotion, your 4Ps of marketing. And these really help define who we are as marketers and what we do as businesses to succeed in our marketing efforts. Now, there are, for a lot of good marketers out there are going to argue that there's a fifth P, and it's people, and it's right in the center of all of this. And for now, we're just going to kind of throw that one aside. Maybe by the end of today, we might get some hints on what people actually means in this whole thing. But product, price, place, promotion, that's what we're going to focus on right now as we go into our talk. So first of these is product. What does product means? Well, it can be anything, service, it can be a tangible good. Anything that your business sells can be a product for your business. What it's trying to do, though, it's trying to meet some sort of demand from your customers. If you have something and your customers don't want it, technically it's still a product. It may not be a very good product, but we're trying to create something that they want, something that people are demanding. And sometimes in cases you build a new demand. Think about the iPhone when it first came out, right? Before the iPhone, there was no demand for the iPhone. After the iPhone, there was lots of demand. I actually remember when iPhone first came out, or internet phone, thinking to myself, why would anyone want internet on their phone? I actually had that thought. Now it's something that we all use every day, and it's built into our society. 20 years ago, that was an outside the box thought. Now it's something new, and it's definitely a product of Apple. Other products, we're here in front of us, we have a Chevy pickup. This is a small pickup. This is actually their work truck. Putting a picture in here of product of their work truck. This is bare bones, doesn't even have cruise control, doesn't have a lot of the features, maybe power things, maybe not. It's a very bare bones, cheap, inexpensive truck. That is a product of Chevrolet, for those that may not know. Now, what about this? This is the exact same model of truck. It's a Chevy Colorado, but is it a different product? Well, let's look at this. This is obviously, they're out. Usually the work truck is 2-wheel drive. This is 4-wheel drive. They're out driving through mud. It's very much sportier edition. Yeah, it's a different product. It has a different target customer. A different person is going to buy that work truck as who may buy this kind of sport truck, if we'll call it that for the moment. So, that's a different product. People, people have different wants, different desires inside of that. So definitely a different product to Chevy. What about this? It's another truck, but it's a big truck. This is a Silverado, has lots of towing capacity. Maybe someone that's a farmer, right? Maybe someone that's a rancher needs to tow hay or horses or whatever it is. Towing is an important thing. They need the extra room. They need the bigger truck. That's a different target market, different product altogether than the previous two trucks we see. But it's not just about trucks. Chevy has cars. Why do they have cars? Because we have people that commute, that need good gas mileage, need a family car for their family. So that's another product of Chevy. We have a sports car. Maybe we have someone with a midlife crisis. How are they? They need something fast. They need something for the thrill of it. They need something showy or for status. There's another product of Chevy. Chevy has lots of products. They have a Suburban, definitely a different product. Big families, whatever it may be. So there's lots of different products, but I want to challenge you. Think outside of this. Is this a product of Chevrolet? Yeah, very, very, very much is. Parts, accessories, the other things that they can sell you is a big part of Chevrolet. I'm actually going to tell you, most car dealerships, only about a quarter to a third of their overall profits come from selling you a car. The rest come from things like parts. A big portion of it comes from service. This is, they make a lot of money on parts and service. It's not something that most people know how to do, so they can charge you for that. That service, that fixing brakes or whatever may go out in your car. What actually is a huge, huge, huge part of product for Chevrolet? This is finance. This is extended warranty. A majority of profits for a lot of dealerships come right here. Being able to take portions of the finance and extended warranties, that turns into money for them. So I challenge you to think outside the box. When you think of product, don't just think about the physical thing. Think about all the things that can go with it. How can product expand? It's not just the basic, it's not what's in your hand. There's lots of stuff that goes into product, even beyond just kind of that most basic idea that you may be thinking of. The next of the 4Ps, we went through product in that upper corner. Now we're at price. So price, it's what customers are willing to pay. That's a very broad definition. We see our little picture here. This is a Chevy Suburban window sticker that I pulled. And if you go look at a window sticker, it's all going to be kind of the same thing, right? We see base model. We see all the features that you're adding in, takes as base price. All these features, product features, right? Hint, hint, have added to that price. What else goes into price though? So right about here, if you can see, there's gas mileage. So when I'm thinking about price, if I'm buying a Chevy Suburban here that has an average gas mileage of 16 miles an hour, I'm thinking long-term, right? Price isn't just about what I pay. It's about what I'm gonna pay if I'm commuting this car a lot. So price can be, once again, just like product. Think outside the box when it comes to price. A lot of things can go into product. Now, I do want to talk about a flip side of this. So we're talking price for a face value right now, but I want to talk about a manufacturer, in particular small manufacturers and small businesses. So I've worked with a lot of small businesses, and one time I worked with this woman who had a little skincare company, and she made like face cream, and we went through an exercise where she was selling her facial cream. I think it was for like $10. We went through and looked at her costs and what it was the cost for her to buy, the jar and the ingredients. And I said, hey, let's pay yourself minimum wage because you want to get paid a little bit for this. And we put that all together and we divided it by the number of things she sold. And it turns out for every jar of face cream she sold at $10, she was losing $1.50. So she was literally paying you $1.50 to take her skin cream off of her. So when I say let's make lots of money, it's because we need to, as businesses, we need to make money. So price, yes, it's a price. It's a physical thing that our customers see, but price is also what makes us money, that we're successful in our own business. So there's two sides of that coin that you need to analyze as you go through this. But another thing about price, we're gonna take a small little pricing detour here too, is from marketer standpoint, try not to focus on price. Price can get you in trouble. Here's an oldie but goodie. This is from when I was in college way back when I saw this and it stuck with me. Instead of price, talk about value. You're always going to do better talking about value than talking about price. If I tell you that this tractor right over here, and I love it because it's like a 1990s clip art version of tractor and the handshake and the weightlifter up there, it's all great. But if I told you this tractor is $100,000, that's going to be a shock to the system. And what if I told you the competitor's tractor's price is $90,000? However, if you buy my tractor, you're going to get $7,000 of added durability, $6,000 of reliability, $5,000 of service, $2,000 better warranty. So my tractor is actually worth $110,000, but you are saving $10,000 and you're only going to have to buy it for $100,000, right? So suddenly you take the value play of it. It's not about the $100,000 price tag. It's about that you are making $10,000 by buying my tractor. So focus on value. Whenever you can focus on value, you're going to do better than focusing on price. So that's just a little trick as you look at marketing and as you go through life. Just think about that value versus actual just plain price. You'll always turn out better. Place, distribution. So this is where the customer can get the product. This has, it's definitely changed throughout time. And here we have our Chevy dealership, right? If you wanted a car in the past, this is where you're going to go. Think about most things in life. If you go to the mall, go to the store, go to the grocery store, wherever it may be, that tends to be place. That's what we think about place. From a business standpoint, where do I need to get my product so that you can buy it? Now, wherever that may be. Now, we think about today's world. And we think about this. Amazon has changed and rocked the world of place. No longer is place the mall or the Target or the Walmart or the Fred Meyer or Safeway or whatever grocery store or even a car lot. Place, because of Amazon, is now your couch. And that's definitely a change. Think about 20 years ago. That's something that you didn't think about. I didn't think about that, I can go and get groceries delivered. Amazon Fresh, get fresh groceries delivered to my house. That wasn't an option. The logistics of place and of distribution has changed over time with technology, so much so that places of the 4P's, places probably the most rapidly evolving. As I make this in a year from now, things may be different. And I say that because think about a year ago. A year ago, before COVID, before pandemic, if you wanted a car, you still had to go to the car lot. Well, that's not true anymore. Go watch TV for any amount of time, and even cars. You can buy a car, have it delivered to you, never touch the car lot. Everything in place is being changed and thrown around right now. So place is a rapidly evolving concept. But basically, if you're a business, you need to meet the needs and demands. So if your customers want to buy a car from their couch, you need to figure out how to let them buy a car from your couch. So that's just an aspect of that you need to really understand. Product. I want to take a quick product detour as it relates to place as well, though, because different people have different needs and different regions have different needs. So right above us, right over here, we have a Chevy and a GMC car. For the people that might not know, literally GMCs and Chevys are made on the exact same production line. One car could be a Chevy, the next one could be a GMC. They come out of the same place, almost the exact same parts. I have a Chevy car. It uses the same parts as the GMC version of that car. So exact same thing. So why? And there's a huge, personality differences. People have, think about Ford versus Chevy people, but there's even GMC versus Chevy people. Regionality plays a big part in this. That people are used to buying a specific kind of car in different regions. GMC, I'm on the West Coast. Chevy tends to be better on the West Coast, or not better. Chevy tends to be more prominent on the West Coast. You were to go in the Southeast, you see a lot of GMC cars and trucks down there. And that's what people are buying. So regionality, we just talked about place. Sometimes you need to adapt and evolve your product based on place as well. If you grew up on the East Coast, mayonnaise on the East Coast with Hellmann's, and it's best foods here on the West Coast. Think about if you know Hardee's and Carl's Jr. Hardee's is on the East Coast, Carl's Jr. on the West Coast. They are the exact same fast food restaurant, just different names, different brands. So products can evolve based off of locality as well. Just kind of understand that, and you need to meet the needs. If someone's asking for something, give them what they're asking for. And sometimes that means having different variations of product, which also ultimately too can lead to different variations in price. Obviously, if you need to have, one thing or another. People that are, in the northern region need, warmer things than people in Florida. So understand who your customer is and what you're trying to sell them. The fourth of the 4P, promotion. So this is the things that you can do to get customers to look and understand and want to buy your product, to get them to realize that they need it, they want it, draw their attention, whatever it may be. Now, promotion can be a lot of different things. It's traditional marketing, it can be advertising, public relations, it can be banners, it can be partnerships, it can be events. A lot of things can go into promotions. But a good promotional strategy is all together, it's planned, you know what you're trying to do, trying to evolve, trying to get people to understand. This particular promotional strategy, so we see 18% cash back. Why is that important? Well, this is actually very important as people go to sign the dotted line. If you say we have a car for, let's make math easy, $20,000, right? And if I give 10% cash back, well, instead of saying, oh, this $20,000 car is now worth, you can buy it for $18,000. It's much better to say, here's your $20,000 car. Now here's the line item, $2,000. That's what you're getting. So once again, value. That's why they use these kind of things, is because they can show you that $2,000 and say, here's the actual money you're getting, instead of just changing the sticker price. So lots of different promotional tactics that can go in there, but it evolves, and it definitely deals with product. It definitely deals with price and place as well. So they all kind of go together. Now, I mentioned good marketers. Most good marketers are going to tell you there's a fifth P. And I kind of said, let's ignore it, but I'm not going to ignore it anymore. Here we are, people. I've said people, I've said preference, I've said target market. I've said a lot of different things up to this point in this conversation. Everyone remember this from a few years ago? This was a TV ad that came out. See in the bottom corner right down there, you see Chevrolet. It was a series of Chevy ads where they were doing little target focus groups saying, oh, what would you like in a car? And people are saying, oh, I love my Ford. I would never trade anything. And this is what I love about Ford. And they're saying, what if this car had the exact same thing? And then they pull up a sheet and magically it's a Chevy car and everyone's like, oh, wow. So that's what we're talking about. People, the people's wants, people's preferences. They're hard to change sometimes, but people are at the center of everything. We talked about product. Well, you need to get the product that people want at the price that people want to pay it, at the place that people can physically get it, using the right promotional tactics to get them to understand it and see it and want to buy it. So people, I can't leave it at 4Ps. I have to bring in the fifth P. People, because people are what drive marketing. If you don't have that, you're not going to have anything. You're not going to have a successful business. Things like focus groups, things like surveys, these are all important from a marketer to try and get them and get to the heart of what people means in the whole marketing process. So let's kind of finish this up, 4Ps in real life. So you got to understand your own self, your goals. What are you trying to do? What kind of money you're trying to make? What are your customers trying to do? Do you understand yourself and you understand your customers? That at the very least is going to help you deliver. Are you getting the right product that your customers want? Are you getting to them at the right price, in the right place, using the right promotion? That's what I tell myself, in all my marketing ventures. Am I getting the right product at the right price, at the right place, using the right promotion to my customers? If you can do that, you are more than likely going to be successful. Now, I say that this is a formula. The 4Ps, I started it off saying it's a formula, and I want to tell you why. And it's probably more of a framework I'll give in, but I say it's a formula because of this. If any of these above is a zero, if you're not doing something, jump back to high school algebra. If you make 1 million times 1 million times 1 million times 0, what is that? 0. If you have the right product and the right price using the right promotion, but you can't get it to place, you're going to make $0. So you have to think of all these together. You have to have good values for all of these. If you don't, you're not going to drive your business. You're not going to drive your marketing. You're not going to have successful marketing campaigns. They all go together, work through them together. And this fourth point over here, review it regularly. If something changes, you should know. If the pandemic hits. Do you think that changed product, price, place, and promotion for a lot of people? Specifically place? Think about restaurants. How did restaurants evolve in this last year, right? Their place changed. It was from my restaurant to your couch. How am I going to do, deliver, Uber Eats, whatever it may be. So these evolve over time. You got to meet the standards and the needs of your customers, of your clients, and you got to do it in a way that's going to make you successful as a business. If you do this, if you evolve with this, if you keep evolving, I'm not going to say everything's going to work out great, but things are going to be a lot better for you in the long run. You have a higher likelihood and a higher chance of making a success. So wrap up here. We talked about the marketing mix. Once again, the marketing mix, 4P's, interchangeable concepts. I love thinking it as a formula because it's the way you can apply it. That I can look at these 4 different pillars: product, price, place, promotions. I need to have success in all of them. If I have a 0 on something, I'm not going to have success and I'm not going to make money as a business. Talked about each one of those. Product, those are the physical, tangible things or services that you're offering out there. Price, the price and the cost and the value that your customers are willing to pay. Place, where they're going to buy it. That's going to change. That's going to be different. And that's constantly evolving. Promotion, how are you going to get it in front of them? As a side subject to this, social media, the great leveler in all of marketing promotion. It's been an evolution, and that's something for a different video. Anyways, final point here, real life, make sure you understand yourself, understand the 5th P, people. They are what matter. As we go through time, as you go through evolution, as you look at the 4Ps in your business, understanding the people is what's really going to matter. And that's the most useful aspect of it. If you have a good relationship, good communication with the people, you're going to be in a better place. Keep evaluating, understand, get that right product in the right place, using the right promotion at the right price, and you're going to be good. So thanks for your time today. Hopefully this made sense. If not, I'd love to hopefully talk with you sometime and give you a little more information. So thanks and have a great afternoon.